Title of the story: The Peacock Who Would Not Dance. The little village of Basantpur had not seen a peacock in many years. It was a village full of suffering. It was dry and dusty from the lack of seasonal summer rains. The fields were barren and the people poor and hungry. One day, when the children of the village had been playing after school, little Anjali had found a beautiful white egg in the old village temple. There were yells of excitement as she called her friends over to see the egg. Where had it come from? Nobody knew. In front of their eyes, the egg started to crack, and suddenly a scrawny little baby peacock was poking its head out of the shell. Oh my goodness! What were they going to do with the bird in a village where families could hardly feed themselves? After putting their heads together and whispering quietly, the children decided they could not leave this emblem of good fortune to suffer alone. They were going to raise the orphaned peacock and they would find a way to feed him. They named the bird More. When the children told the elders about how More was hatched from the most beautiful white egg, the villagers considered it a sign of auspiciousness. At last, the gods had remembered them. The children pampered More and loved him. They would bring him scraps from their own meals, and he was soon well fed and healthy. One day, More was playing with the children by the river, and he caught a glimpse of his own reflection in the sparkling water. He was pleased. He was growing into a very handsome bird indeed. What a stunning crest he possessed, and what beautiful blue-green colored feathers he had. There was no other bird in the village like him, and More quickly became spoilt and arrogant, knowing he was the only one of his kind. He had never seen another peacock. More did not like to do any work. Though he was not scared of snakes, he ran away from the serpents that tormented Basantpur. As a peacock, he should have been able to kill at least a few of them and rid the village of the problem. But he was too lazy to hunt, and he was too lazy to dance. The council of elders shook their heads in dismay. Without rain, the snakes would continue to plague their lands, their homes, and their children. The gods decided that something must be done. They had sent More to dance. The god Indra had bestowed the graceful peacock with the power to bring rain for the welfare of the people, and this bird was far too busy being self-concerned. He had forgotten the kindness of the villagers who had raised him as one of their own. So the gods came up with a plan. One day, More was taking his afternoon strut through Basantpur, showing off his freshly preened feathers in all their glory. All of a sudden, a small bee started buzzing in his ear. The bee had mistaken the eyes of Moor's feathers for the sweet blue lotus flowers that float on the fresh waters. The bee signaled to his friends, and quickly a swarm of bees was humming behind Moor. Moor jumped in fright. He had to get away. Soon the villagers were laughing heartily as the proud peacock, who would not dance, rushed through the village in zigzag patterns, with a swarm of bees buzzing furiously behind him. Moor rushed up to the village temple, begging the gods to release him from this misery, promising he would be better behaved in future. He promised to do the things that a good peacock was supposed to do. And suddenly he was lifting his feet and twisting and twirling and dancing in front of the temple. The temple bells started to ring furiously. The gods were relieved. The sky started to thunder, dark clouds started to roll, and flashes of lightning cracked as the heavens suddenly burst open over the dry, dusty village and its fields. The rains came down, pitter pattering, and then harder and harder as the plants, animals, and people lifted their heads to drink the water washing over them from above. Basantpur was filled with joy, and the villagers were all dancing with Moor. Unexpectedly, one of the children gave a yell. A female peahen had also come to dance. What great auspiciousness this was! Surely the gods must be pleased with the village. Moore was surprised to discover he was not a lone peacock, and danced even harder, celebrating the arrival of his new friend. And as the rains fell, a rainbow with all its many colors settled over Basantpur. Moor had brought a renewed spring to the village. The chariot of the gods. In the early days of the world, the peacock was the chariot of the gods. The noble bird had been chosen for its kind disposition and beauty, and in return the gods had granted the beautiful blue peacock with enough eyes on its body to watch over the world, and the power to command the auspicious rains that the lands needed so badly at the height of each hot season. The peacock is the national bird of India, but now the number of peacocks is decreasing in India. The bird is being poached by those who forget the true symbolism of good luck of the peacock in India.